guys, welcome back to another Wiki Wednesday Whispers. I want to apologize for not making a video last week. I got super busy and unfortunately just didn't have any chance to get in front of the camera. Also, I apologize if I look rather sweaty. It's starting to get a lot warmer where I live. And my apartment, I'll try and show you guys, has these giant windows, which means that it gets really hot in my room really fast. And I've got the window closed and the fan off because otherwise it'll be too loud. So it means I might get a little bit hot. As the summer goes on, I'm gonna have to try and figure out something else to do because it's only like 70, 75 I think out right now. And it's already this hot, which is not good for those of you who are in Celsius. I believe that converts to about 20 degrees centigrade. I believe that's right. If you're ever trying to do the approximate, definitely don't use this for any calculations you have to know are exact, but the rule I like is if you're going from Celsius to Fahrenheit, double it and add 30, and that'll put you pretty close. And if you're going the other way, subtract 30 and divide by 2. Excuse me, thought I was gonna sneeze. So, this week we're gonna talk about the Gracie challenge. I thought of it because of my shirt. And for those of you who don't know who the Gracies are, they are a family who do martial arts, and their, I guess, grandfather, father, depends on which generation you go to, was the founder of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I was going to read about the family, but the article was really short, so I didn't think that that would be long enough. So I decided to do this instead, because it's a little bit longer. So I hope that you guys enjoy it. I'm a big fan of theirs, and really like their martial art. I've done a few of their lessons before, and it's really great stuff. So I highly recommend it. If you're interested, look them up and learn some more. So let's get started now. The Gracie Challenge was an open invitation issued by some members of the Brazilian Gracie family, known for their Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or BJJ mastery, to martial artists of other styles to fight them in a veil judo match, a precursor to the Ultimate Fighting Championship, or UFC. The purpose of these challenges was to prove the effectiveness of the Gracie style of BJJ. Challenges have been issued since Carlos Gracie first made one in the 1920s, with some becoming public events while others have remained private. History. The Gracie Challenge was first issued by then judoka Carlos Gracie in the 1920s to promote and develop the Gracie style of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and as an attempt to show that it was superior to other styles of martial arts. The matches typically featured a smaller Gracie versus a larger and or more athletic-looking opponent, and became increasingly popular. Carlos, and later his brother Helio Gracie, and both of these men's sons defeated martial artists of many different styles, such as boxing, judo, karate, and wrestling, while experiencing few losses. Dominance of judo. Helio Gracie issued a challenge to a highly touted judoka, Masahiko Kimura. An agreement was made under what would be known as the Gracie rules via the Gracie Challenge that wish to challenge the Gracies. We respect them like formidable adversaries they are, but we do not fear them. We have 28 pupils ready for the dispute. Oswald Fada. Elio Gracie accepted the challenge to have his students face Fada's, and the matches took place at the Gracie Academy. Fada's team won, making better use of their footlock knowledge, something the Gracies lacked and frowned upon ever since, calling it suburban technique. The highlight of the competition was when Fada's pupil, Jose Ramirez, choked Gracie's student Leonardo Diaz unconscious. Master versus student. In 1952, Elio would face a former student, Vladimir Santana, whom in a 3-hour and 45-minute match would defeat Elio. Santana would go on to knock out Elio with a kick to the head. This would be the last of Elio's matches that involved striking. Various challenges. The Gracie Challenge entered American martial arts legend when Rorion Gracie came to the United States to teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Rorion upheld the family's tradition and regularly took challenge matches at his facility. Benny Uriquez. A common story is that Gracie backed up his challenges with a wager that he would pay the winner $100,000 should he lose. Misconception stemmed from a proposed challenge match with Benny the Jet Uriquez, where both Gracie and Uriquez would bet $100,000 on the outcome of the match. However, that match never occurred. It has been speculated that soon after he received his black belt, Royce put out a Gracie challenge in which competitors would face him in a no-rules contest won by submission or knockout, with a prize of $100,000. Royce himself stated in an interview, "It wasn't really a $100,000 challenge. My brother had a big problem with one of the big American kickboxers. Somebody was going to do the commentary for the chapter, and they called my brother and asked if he wanted to face him. He said that he would face anyone in MMA. My brother had already faced and beaten him before. He told them to ask him if they knew who he was facing, as he should know who he was facing." Uriquez pretended he didn't know who the Gracies were, so they made a bet to put $100,000 down on each fight. Uriquez later backed down on the bet and allegedly said he didn't want to put his money down and instead put his championship belt in place of the $100,000, and that if Royce Gracie won, he would become the world champion in kickboxing. However, there are contradictory versions of the challenge with Uriquez. According to an interview with Uriquez, the Gracies came to his school and challenged him to a fight. Benny agreed to the fight under the Gracies' rules and asked for time to train and for the fight to be held at a neutral location. When the Gracies found out that Benny was a competent grappler and had been training for many years with grappling legend Jean LaBelle and Gokor John, they allegedly backed out. Jean LaBelle. Another episode that could be included with the Gracie Challenge occurred when the Gracies challenged Judo Jean LaBelle. The Gracies wanted to match Rickson Gracie with the American grappling master, professional wrestler, and stuntman. LaBelle was almost 60 at the time. Replied that Rickson was much younger, 27 years difference, about 33 years old. Then he added that he would instead grapple Elio Gracie, who was closer in age to him. When confronted with this reply, the Sakuraba was matched against Oiler Gracie, who had previously conquered Sakuraba's stablemate, Yui Sano. It marked the largest weight advantage Sakuraba has enjoyed in his career to date, being around 30 pounds heavier than Oiler. Oiler was unable to score a takedown or strike effectively from a standing position, remained on the ground in an effort to bait Sakuraba into grappling-oriented contest, while Sakuraba standing landed punishing kicks to Oiler's legs and thighs and head. Eventually, with less than 2 minutes remaining, Sakuraba finally engaged Oiler on the ground, soon catching him in an elbow lock known as urikame or double top wrist lock. As Sakuraba wrenched on the submission, the referee intervened with 1 minute and 44 seconds remaining on the clock, ending the contest and awarding Sakuraba the win by TKO. Sakuraba's victory over Oiler constituted the first loss by a Gracie in professional fighting in several decades, and as such sent ripples of shock and controversy through the mixed martial arts community. Some protested that the victory was tainted due to the fact that Oiler, although placed in a debilitating submission hold, never conceded defeat and was mere seconds away from the final bell when the bout was stopped. It is worth noting that the last Japanese athlete to defeat a Gracie prior to Sakuraba's win against Oiler, legendary judokai Mashiko Kimura, had used the very same judo techniques Sakuraba utilized to beat Oiler. That time, the recipient had been Oiler's father, Helio Gracie, who had, like Oiler, refused to submit, but likewise lost. While the Japanese fight media rejoiced and elevated Sakuraba to superstar status, the Gracie family took great umbrage over the incident, feeling that they had been cheated by pride. Compelled to set the record straight and reassert the dominance of his family, Oiler's younger brother and former UFC champion, Royce Gracie, returned to the sport of mixed martial arts in 2000 and entered the 16-man Pride Grand Prix alongside Sakuraba and several other top fighters of the era. Placed on the same side of the bracket, a special set of rules were requested by the Gracies in the event of a Sakuraba-Royce match, including no referee stoppages and no time limits, the fight only ending in the event of a submission or knockout. In his first fight of the 2000 Pride tournament, Sakuraba once again found himself matched up against a heavier opponent. This time, the well-regarded 205-pound fighter, former king of Pancrase, Guy Metzger. After a closely fought 15 minutes, the judges requested an overtime round, and the fight ended in controversy when Metzger's coach, Ken Shamrock, forced his fighter back to the locker room, claiming that no additional rounds were agreed upon in the contract. Sakuraba ended up winning the match by forfeit. Meanwhile, Royce defeated Nahiko Takada by unanimous decision and thus set the stage for their much-anticipated showdown. In the tournament quarterfinals, Royce and Sakuraba battled for an hour and a half, 6 15-minute rounds. Sakuraba nearly ended the match with a knee bar toward the end of the first round. As the confrontation stretched on, the Gracie's own no-time-limit rules began to work against Royce, as Sakuraba's wrestling skills and balance nullified Royce's ability to score a takedown, and in some instances, even pull guard. Even Royce's ever-present jujitsu gi became a weapon for the wrestler to use against him, as Sakuraba used it to help him control Gracie on the instances the fight did come to the ground. However, with Sakuraba's control of the takedown, these instances of ground warfare became increasingly sporadic. After the 90-minute battle of punishing leg kicks, Royce's brother, Orion, threw in the towel. Sakuraba would lose a rematch with Royce in 2007, though Royce tested positive for illegal steroids after the fight and was suspended for 6 months. Prior to the bout, there was speculation that the fight was largely personal, with Royce looking to avenge his brother, and Sakuraba looking to atone his stablemate's defeat and vindicate professional wrestling, and the UWFI once and christened Sakuraba and priest in the ring. Gracious in victory, exhausted from his battle with Ois, Sakuraba surprised many when he emerged from the locker room for the tournament semifinals. His opponent, Igor Vanachan, outweighed him by close to 50 pounds. Sakuraba had come into the bout with Royce lighter than usual at 176 pounds, and was considered to be a top heavyweight striker of the day. Sakuraba surprised many by taking Vancha down and nearly finishing him with an armbar. Sakuraba was actually leading the fight past the 10-minute mark, but near the end Igor was able to reverse a takedown and draw the first round even with the ground strikes. After the first round was declared a draw, Sakuraba's corner threw in the towel before the beginning of overtime, primarily due to fatigue. Following the Grand Prix, Sakuraba was christened the Gracie Hunter by the Japanese sports media. Keeping in touch with his new nickname, Sakuraba sandwiched a victory via Achilles lock against Shannon Ridge between fights against Renzo Gracie and Ryan Gracie. In contrast to Euler and Royce, Renzo and Ryan were products of Carlos Gracie's approach to jiu-jitsu, which placed a stronger emphasis on combat-ready skills and training without a gi. At the time of his bout with Sakuraba, Renzo only lost in 10 rounds was a closely contested decision to Sakuraba's former UWF5 stablemate and rival Kiyoshi Tamura, while Maurice Smith, Og Takarov, and Adabai champion Sanai Kudo numbered against his victims. Renzo's stylistic differences from his cousins were in evidence from the outset of his contest against Sakuraba, as he pressed the pace of the bout with a variety of kicks and punches, although few connected. Sakuraba's responded in kind, and the striking seemed stalemate. Throwing his wrestling into the equation, Sakuraba timed a number of double and single leg takedowns against Renzo's flurries, from where he alternately attempted to cartwheel past Gracie's guard, malign his legs with kicks from the standing position, and even attack with low drop kick. However, Renzo's defensive skills from the bottom nullified the entire gamut of Sakuraba's offensive attempts until mere seconds remained in the battle, and the contestants found themselves pressed against the turnbuckle. Sakuraba locked in a Kimura and spun around, flipping Renzo to the canvas, even as he wrenched his arm behind his back. Like Euler and Helio before him, Renzo refused to submit to the hold, despite his elbow being snapped prior to hitting the ground, and even as the referee stopped the contest due to injury, which awarded victory Sakuraba. His arm in his sling, Renzo took to the microphone, and before 35,000 fans assembled at Sobe Dome, stated that Sakuraba was the Japanese version of the Gracie family. Renzo